Fine, how are you? Fine, just busy. You know. Come on, people. That's not transparent. That's not true. That's not truth. And that's not trust. No one ever built an amazing interaction or relationship with, fine, how are you? I don't even know what fine is. Fine is like when I'm driving the car and there's a police car behind me and I'm completely clenched up and tense and my wife Christina says, how are you? And I say, I'm fine. Fine is what my friend Paul says when he's clearly lost, confused, and looking for a bathroom. Fine is, yeah! If you've ever been on a date that just went fine, that ain't a good thing. Or if you Google the words, fine, how are you, memes, there's some pretty weird stuff that comes up. That's what fine is. It's the thing you say when you're not really going to be in the mood to talk. Or worse, what if maybe things aren't going so well? We can all agree, though, that fine is not transparent. It's not true. It's not the truth. And it's definitely not trust. That's why you must never, ever, 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 never answer the question, how are you? In less than 50 words. 50 words is just the right amount for building trust. 50 is just the right amount for building trust. It forces you to give people a real piece of your life and to practice openness and to connect on a real level. 50 words is right where you begin to elevate small talk into medium talk and hopefully deep conversation. Let's be real though. I can get up on stage with the best of them, but in my heart sometimes, and in my mind, I can feel disconnected and detached. Sometimes I feel alone and isolated. Sometimes I feel completely disengaged from my family, my friends, and my community. I do believe that we all know what that can feel like. So we have to push ourselves to not stay in that zone. No matter if you're an extrovert, an introvert, or an ambivert, whatever you are. Each and every one of you could make someone's day every single day just by answering, how are you, in no less than 50 words. Here's an example of what that can sound like with something I did, something I felt, something I learned, something I like, and something I'd recommend. Brian, how are you? Hey, Pranjay, thanks for asking. I just got home from a road trip to Central Washington with my wife and son. It feels so good and relaxing to have a break from work. It had been many, many, many long weeks back to back to back. And actually, I was struggling to get enough family time in. It had been giving me a sense of guilt because I just wasn't there enough for my wife and son. But all the hiking, all the waterfalls, the rivers, and the mountains, that tends to provide lots of time for reflection and make you remember what's important. So that was great for me. I also fell in love with the city of Bend, Oregon, and I'd recommend it if you haven't been there before. So that's my updates. Pranjay, how you doing? Do you see what I did there? It starts with you. You have to answer deeply, and you'll get deep answers back in return. Nobody ever opened up to someone who wasn't open themselves. Now, after I've answered that question, and when I ask the same question back, I'm not just going to get the, I'm good, just busy. This is because trust is a mirror. Trust is a mirror. Whatever you display, you shall get back. Trust is a reciprocal emotion, and it's an intentional feeling. So you've got to be the one that opens up if you want trust back from others. The deeper that you go, the deeper that they'll go. There's real research behind this too, from my own studies to the great Paul Zak, who found that higher trust can be measured in our blood through the release of oxytocin. It's linked to dramatic improvements in relationships, work performance, even macroeconomic growth. But just on the interpersonal level between you and me, these types of releases, biologically, this type of trust, it can be stimulated through this very simple conversational technique. It matters now more than ever too, because trust has been on the decline for more than 5 decades. And most of us have just spent a lot of time without the normal face-to-face interactions that we usually get. But connection is formed in deep conversations. And that's where the world's sense of belonging and happiness and love are all hidden. It's right there for you to unlock. And if you're feeling alone, then someone else is too. And you've got that power to make them feel more connected. It's a win-win because it'll make you feel better too. Everything is better when we're connected and when others are involved. So I challenge you right here. I challenge you. The next time someone asks, how are you? Give them a real answer. No less than 50 words. Instead of pushing your friends with questions like, how are you? Really? How are you? Nah, instead, open up that gate of vulnerability. Open those doors. Open the floodgates. Validate your emotions by not holding them in. Share them. This will generate that electric and magnetic and powerful feeling of connection that we all inherently crave. It'll also pull more trust into your sphere of influence, no matter if it's the parking lot attendant or the person that's interviewing you for a job. Be the one that opens up. And don't ask people, how are you? Unless you really want to know. If you're just passing by and you're not ready for that full-blown conversation, simply say, hi Scott, hi Kelsey, or if you're leaving, a simple goodbye and have an awesome day. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care.